So let's cover actions. Actions are a very important part of the site. They determine how activity takes place, how we track things, make sure things aren't falling through. So you can see all of your actions when you go to this spot here, but let's go ahead and just create an action from scratch. So you can go to Quick Add, Action, and I want to just add an action to my to-do list. This is probably the easiest way to show you how to do it. So I don't want it to be attached to any kind of case, however I could from here, but I just want to remind myself to do something. So I created one for my to-do list, assigns it to me, and I'm going to say pick up extra printer paper. Now any action that I open, I automatically become a follower of. So if I was assigned it to someone else, I'm a follower. Since it's my own, I don't need to follow. So I'm just going to delete that there. And then I can add advanced options. I can say, yeah, this is a priority, and it puts a little flag on it. If I've already done it, but I just want to show that I've done it because someone was interested in that, if there's something probably more important, I could mark it complete already, or I could archive it, in which case it won't show up anymore. And I can put a date. I can say I need to get that paper by tomorrow, and I got something large to print, so I need it by 9 in the morning. I can do that, and pretty much none of these fields are required except for this and the action name and who it's assigned to. All of the other items are optional. And if I want to add additional details, our printer is a HP 6100 series, whatever I want to add, I can do that. And I just hit save, and that'll add the action to my to-do list. Now I could just as easily had added it to someone else. Now something very important to notice is that if I've assigned it to someone else and I want to attach a document to it, then I would click View Action and attach the document to it right now so that person has access to seeing it. That's the only way to attach a document to something that you've assigned to someone else. If it's just myself, I can just click OK because I still can go view it. So let's go take a look at all the actions. So when you go to the Actions screen, what it does is it pulls in all the actions from across the entire site into one page. The first thing that it's going to do is going to show a little dashboard at the top. It shows how many new ones, how many overdue, how many I have due today and due this week, as well as any of the ones that I'm following. And so the filters are set so that it shows all the ones assigned to me, although I could filter by other people, that are new. New means anything in the last 24 hours. And against all cases and all plans, in this case, we're looking at some of the to-do ones, or the ones that have been added recently, and all dates. So notice that I checked that this one was a priority, so that's why it has a red flag on it. It does not automatically make it come to the top, but it does give it a flag. And so what I usually like to do is it defaults to new so that someone can't just add an action without you knowing it. You would see it in the new section. Ultimately, I usually click on the incomplete, and I can see all my actions for everything across the entire app all at once. And then I can begin to filter. I can say, well, all right, well, what's just due today? Oh, I have none due today. Well, what's due this week? And so I can say, oh, okay, great. I have these two that are due this week. And so this gives you a way to manage your workload and to look ahead and say, wow, I have a lot of things that are due all on one day, and you can go talk to others and figure out which ones are the biggest priority. So once you're in an action, you can do a couple of things. This is listing the plan or group it's assigned to. If you see the I, it means that there's additional information. So this was the name of the action, but remember I had added additional details. So you just mouse over it and it shows you that. Same with this. When you scroll across the right, you can see other icons that are here. And we'll get to this one in a second. So the first one shows that I'm following this action. So if I want to unfollow it, I could unclick here. If I want to add an action note, I could add that note to this to say how I'm doing against that action. If I want to attach a document to this action, I can do it right here. And so I could say, oh, here's the URL for the HP toner ink, for instance, and I could put you know, hp.com/6100 series, whatever it is, and I could attach that to this particular action. So I just click upload, and when I do that, you'll see that the paperclip is added. So now you know that this action has a document or a URL attached to it. If someone has commented, this would be lit up. And if I want to edit the action, I just click this one and it brings that come forward screen back up. And if I want to do some of the advanced things, I can do that as well. So going deeper into this, if you were to click on the action name, it'll pull open all the details of that action to the right so that you can see it. You can see the whole history of that action, so you can see when it was created, if it gets assigned to somebody, if it gets reassigned to somebody. You can see any of the followers of that particular action. You can see any documents that have been attached to that action, etc. So a couple of deeper dive issues that you can look at. One is when you follow an action, what it means is you may be added to a lot of actions on a lot of plans, but you don't want to follow all of them. So the ones that you're most interested in, you can follow, and if you don't want to follow them, you can just click this and you will unfollow it, and you'll see that the icon gets unchecked. And if you want to refollow, you just click it again and you would follow. In addition, this right here is an approval check. So if someone had assigned this to you and you want them to take a look at it to make sure they're okay with it, you could actually reassign it to another person. So you'd click the who, you click on the name, and you could reassign this action to somebody else. And they could take a look at it and say, yeah, it looks good, and mark it as approved and assign it back to you. And you say, okay, good, now I'm done. And you come over here, and this is how you mark an action complete or not, is you check the checkbox right here, and that shows that it's complete. And so there's a lot of things you can do with actions, but these are the main things that you would want to check so that you can manage your workload.